Welcome to MTAAAAFRICA. This is a very unique segment today. We're looking at the intersection of politics, activism, and also community service. Right, I have with me Honorable Omare. He's an aspiring MP for Embakasi Central. In the center, I have Honorable Kasina. She's an aspiring MCA for Matopeni Spring Valley. And right next to me, I have with me Honorable Javan Ofula, and he's an aspiring MCA for Dandora 4. All working in community service or activism or some form of community work, and for some reason or the other I decided to go into politics.
IT specialist mostly, that is my 8 to 5, but my background is in art. I'm a poet and a rapper, and also I work as a community champion and to reclaim and defend public spaces in the community.
What about you? Honorable Faith, to us.
So I prefer being called a human rights defender or just a believer in dignity, equity and justice for all. That's basically what I do, but mostly I'm into defending youth, but I also run an organization in Kayole called Kayole Community Justice Center.
Thank you very much. My name is Javan Ofula. That is the name that people will see on the ballot paper, so I hope you don't forget. I've been a community leader, a poet, a rapper, and also a businessman, because that's my way of living. So I'm vying for the seat of Ward 64B within the Kasina constituency. The reason that I'm vying and moving from arts and business as my core work every day is basically, it's because people have come to me and said, we believe that you can deliver us the leadership that we missed. And I think also I believe in myself, and this is the right time that as youths we have to take up the leadership and leave the change that we want. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for coming, actually. So the reason I pointed out why this is a unique segment for us is because usually we do a lot of art-inspired interviews and lives, and for you we thought it would be very unique. So Ms. Kasina, you mentioned that you'd like to be called a human rights defender.
Yes.
So how does that tie to you wanting to run for a political seat specifically?
Venye wamama wana maji mtaani, nyumba zao hazina maji, that's totally political. Unaona, tumejaribu kama activists kutetea maji, tumejaribu kufanya demonstration, lakini someone somewhere has the power to make that decision. And that's where politics comes in. Politics is about the power. And nikiendelea kusema mimi ni community organizer, sitaingia politics, that's a total lie, because I am doing things around politics. Everything I'm doing is very political. As much as I'm fighting on social and economical rights, ni nini naweza fanya zinakuwa actualized.
It's good that you brought that up, because when Omare and I were chatting earlier, and yeah, I'd like to throw this to you. We were chatting earlier and you told me that aside from being a hip hop artist, one of his main reasons for getting into politics is because he's been inspired by other hip hop artists who wanaongelelea mambo ya community change kwa lyrics sana, other change makers. Yes. So just take us through hip hop and how it ties into change making within the community, because if there's anyone who's come from the hood, tuseme tu umetoka ghetto, you're very familiar with hip hop.
During my time growing up, I did not have any other type of thinking. My thinking was just the normal things that we are taught in school and in church. But the first time I started listening to artists like Ofula and Omare, I started hearing other things that were not presented to me.
The content was
was not presented to me in my classes, in my Sunday school lesson, because I'm a Sabbath school lesson, I used to go to church on Saturday. So that triggered something inside me, because I felt that these were the people who were representing me the best. They understood what I was going through. Those artists, their lyrics, what they were trying to address, is what I was facing. You see, I became part of the hip hop movement, and I started becoming an hip hop artist. I started writing my own lyrics. I felt that what they were trying to address is what needs to be addressed, like discrimination, social change, marginalization, police brutality, lack of employment, the young black male. So Tupac was saying something in his interview, was talking about, I can sell 5 million copies of album. So if we convert those 5 million into votes, it can bring more impact than the 5 million albums that I sold, you see? So if we change our leadership from becoming the top 10 in the Billboard to becoming the top 10 in the election, the top 1 in the election, we can bring a much bigger change. I'm not saying that the hip hop music does not bring change. It's all about addressing what people face in the community. So I thought Parliament is a better platform to address the issues that I addressed through lyrics.
One thing I noticed is that aside from working in social justice, you're also very big in art.
Yes.
And so, Pia Wewe, just take us through the intersection and how that inspired you to get into politics.
So first, I'm predominantly an artist and an entrepreneur, but within me is leadership. So it's just finding how to work with these different things in different spaces. For example, if I were to talk about why arts and leadership in the county assembly, is that for so many reasons, artists do feel that their voices are not being heard within the county assembly of Nairobi, for example. And me interacting with various artists from the ground and also from the other spaces is that I know what needs to be talked about also to take their voice into the parliament. But that then, there is something that I need to change as a narrative that people think artists are just, busybodies that have fun and can't lead. So many people think artists ni watu tu wakadunda tuingie klabu tuseme pigeni nduru. No, that's not it. We can also offer leadership, and as you say, you've interacted with my work. When I'm not on stage, I'm purely working for my people. When I'm not working for my people, I'm purely doing my business. What I want to do is now to bring a face that can manage all that from a space of representing my people and pushing for policies that will bring change, and also carry the flag of development, because I believe our Constitution 2010 is the best book that we have in land that just needs to be given life. And me living by it, I want to see it through. I don't want to change much. I just want to live by our Constitution 2010 for the youths, for the women, and for the men of this land.
It's a good thing that you mentioned the Constitution, because I think we're all aware how good our Constitution is on paper.
Yes.
Like when it comes to just actualizing it, it becomes a problem. So I want us to talk about the challenges, because ni watu mnatoa pesa yenu ya campaign wapi?
My form of leadership is always alternative. My organization first, the one that I represent as Wahenga Youth Group, they donated to me around 10,000 shillings to start my campaign, to do like banner, something like a banner, or like some rough posters, My friends, I try to call them. When they call me Mwesh, naonyesha Mwesh sasa tunajua Mwesh anadai shughuli fulani na fulani. So hata wanaonaga mimi Mwesh wa udu sana. So I try to feed off the people, because I am there to represent them. I'm not there to represent myself. So fundraising is my major way of getting my resources.
He's running for MP in my area. So I know when he says that ukitoka nje watu wanaona Mwesh. Yes, inakwanga hivyo. Hata asubuhi sijaamka ndo ashafika Mwesh. Si unipeza kufika. But also I think I am grateful that also community inajua ile job nimekuwa nikidu. Yaani mimi nimegrow hiyo mtaa, inajua ile shughuli nimekuwa nikipiga.
Your work speaks for
yes. But also, so kuna wale wenye wanani support na ile nini ya tumeona ile job umekuwa kidu, tunataka ufike pale ufanye more. But kuna wale hata kama tunajua ukiamua kusimama uko na mado, unaona? So that's where well wishes come from. I think support yangu kubwa inatoka kwa well wishers. Nikiendanga meetings, wamama waone sina do wote wazao.
Mama hapana
shika huyu ni mtoto wetu, shikeni mnunue chai. That kind of support. Yes, I think to me it's just the community and well wishers.
It's not about the money, it's about what I need and what do I have and who do I have. For example, I think the core of my team, the core of my campaign is the secretariat. Kuna mtu anasema flyers ndio hizi, posters ndio hizi, come to kupige picture. But also for me, I think the biggest resource that I have is the history with my community. What have I done before? Sawa, challenges ziko because kuna mama atakwambia usinipe do but nipatie hii umbrella kubwa, it's still 1500. So what now happens is personally, I'm doing this. I'm trying to organize for 2 small fundraisers with friends and just say this is what I need and this is what I have and this much is where I'm stuck. But we are changing the narrative. We are not being sponsored by external factors because that has also made our communities to get their own people. Ule mtu anakuja na mathao, when we don't know where they come from, then we give them leadership, makes us lose it all. But now we have people that push us. Kanisani wanasema si uliomba hapa, kama unge na sisi. For me, if I could get that crowd of 1,000 people seated, to me it's a resource, because the other way ingekuwa panga team, ambieni wasewa kuje grao fulani na kuna watu waezi wako bila hiyo do. Iko wapi credo? Iko wapi lunch? Iko wapi fair? So using also established and organized spaces, and for me I'm using youth groups, women groups, chama za mama and churches. So that's how we are maneuvering around. However much the money and handout mentality is still very big.
I want to talk about family, challenges that come with family, you know, your friends, people you've worked with. Sasa wanakubeba, unajua kitu ya kiongozi mimi ni mtu tu amekuona mahali huko nje, ameona posta yako, so anaweza kuja kiongozi. So how has it changed your relationship? Because nime notice with many aspiring youth in particular, siongelewi wazai, anyone under the age of 35, uko na vikwazo mingi sana kati tuseme kabla umesimama useme ni run campaign yangu, unaona. So I'm particularly pleased that you mentioned you have a secretariat, which is something I've noticed most youth aspirants are not having. Unaona, secretariat na complex ina nani juu sasa ulipani. What goes into all of this? So talk to us about your challenges with Kasina.
I think hata mimi niko na committee yangu secretariat and it's majorly about wale watu wa kuna shughuli kadhaa, kuna watu wa kushughulikia door to door, make sure tumeenda door to door, kuna watu wa communication, kuna watu ni volunteers. And I think kitu moja because pia nimekuwa kiongozi kwa community, unaona, na hiyo ijawahi change yangu. So hakuna much imechange kutoka niseme nataka kuwa MCA.
So more or less it remain the same.
Yes, but sasa watu wananiona na ile nini ya handout sasa ni ndogo. Juu sikuwa nawapea handout, juu nataka kusimama kwa na do, unaona. Sasa inaonekana do imepanda kidogo, but hiyo ija change who I am. How do we also, as the alternatives, teach the community that your vote has the power and you can actually make it count? Also, how do you use it to hold the person you put there into account? Because mimi, by the way, nikikupea dota ni hold to account, narudisha ile do nilikupea. That has always been the fact. That has always been the truth. Nikienda kwa challenges, kuna a lot of threats, mimi being them. Kuna also the realization that I have a team of young people behind me. So the threats zinaendea the young people, because personally they know I have networks. Kuniattack kumeamsha another war. Unaona? So wanaendea watu wangu, and previously imekuwa watu wangu kadhaa wanafuatwa hadi kwao. Watu wana break kwao kwa nyumba. Unaona? Na wanaambiwa one of the things I don't know what's happening. I think the men are also afraid that I am a young woman and I'm independent, by the way, siendi na chama. And also niko na kakichwa ngumu, like wameniita tuongee nikawaambia hapana, niko na nyinyi hadi kwa debe na sina kitu. Unaona? Also I am glad that niko na support ya watu. Kuna watu wananiambia hata kama uko independent, mimi niko UDA, utaingia ground na tutakuprotect. Then kuna issue ya wewe ni mtoto mdogo, hauna bwana, hauna mtoto, utalida je nini ward yetu?
That really interesting. Do you actually gender targeting?
Yes.
I'm interested about Omare. All experience the same challenges, are similar. Like, are you targeted because of being an artist or because I know the youth in our country are unfamiliar with how versatile a human being can be. And Javan mentioned kitu yenye tuko na challenge ya to understand that vitu hazikuangi one dimensional. Unaona? So just because you're an artist, just because you're a human rights defender, you're you're not activist in whatever it is you do. Wanaona ni kama huwezi fanya kitu kingine. So I want to hear about other similar challenges ama tofauti tu yenye Miss Kasina haja mention. Bwana Omare.
Kwanza posta yangu ya kwanza nilitoaga. Wakaniambia kwani ni ngoma ya genge tu unatoa ni. Juu wanaona niko na marlocks fulani. So unapata pia image yangu inakuwa ni challenge for the first. Unaona? Juu shazo ya jacket and tie unajua. Clean shave unajua. Hiyo image pia ishakuwa ni big challenge. Tunaambia wewe mkuja kuchapua na hiyo suti lakini si ungenyoa tu. Na bado mimi msena present ni yule mse. Mwenye amekuwa ni marginalized. Sijamani sema lazima kuyatia kuna nywele. But hiyo ni challenge kwanza ya kwanza. Appearance yangu ina bring conflict to wajazoea wa MP. Lakini kwambia siku nilikuwa na Koigo Mwere na alikuwa ni Mrasta. Mbona mimi nashinda nimekuwa na issue na mimi unaona? So hiyo ni first challenge. Kuna mind ya voter wa Kenya. Kuna ile mind hiyo kwanza ni the biggest challenge. Wanajua kitu chama ni gani? Uko na umetoka budako ni nani, umetoka wapi?
Watu wanavuta na malibu sana.
Wana mindset fulani wamekuwa stuck nayo. Suti mbona huko kwa ile line yetu ya Azimio ama hiyo ya Yuda unajua? Kuna hizo challenge fulani. Siko among the big parties. Unajua pia ni challenge. Hizo big parties ziko na big mobilization kwa community unajua? Alafu pia mimi ni youth. Unajua pia ni challenge. Wananiambia kijana sikata kama wewe ni kiongozi usingeanza na MCA. Mbona unaanza na MCA unajua? Naonesha mbona nianze na MCA na hapa kwa MP sioni kijana mwingine. Na pia vijana wanafaa kuwe MP unaelewa? Hiyo ni challenges na face mob sana. Hadi kijana kwetu. Mzazi wangu mwenyewe muoga. Pia mimi kama community volunteer zile project na do throughout of a good interest of my heart na pia kutaka kukua na community kuwe better. Msana nafikiri unaidu juu ya kura. Ndio pia ni challenge nyingine na face. In a real life kuna vitu zingine tunafanyaga tu. Si juu tunataka kura. Tunazifanya juu tunataka kuona change kwa community unajua. Sasa hiyo ni challenge nyingine. Msana ana mix up kila kitu. Kumbe ukijana hizi vitu zote alikuwa anafanya. Kumbe ni kura alikuwa anataka. But si ati ni kura tunataka. Si tu ni change tunadai.
Mlianza na change making in the community so inaendelea hivyo hivyo. Bwana Ofula any different challenges ama pale. Because what I want from you is to help the youth understand how solidarity is formed, especially when you get into politics and such. I mean, no, because niko na statistics hapa na ni very very interesting. After elections in March 2013, youth under 35 recorded 1 governor, 3 senators, 2 MPs, 8 women reps and 441 MCAs out of 1,450.
The process needs to be also slow and sure because we've seen when watu wanasema ni vijana, ni wazee, ni wamama, and we've seen women who've been given posts and failed. We've seen youths who've been given posts and have failed. We've seen so many old people also wamepewa posts na wakafail. So the thing is the process has started. Sisi tunaendelea tu kusukuma ile gurudumu. Huyo governor mmoja sahi maybe anasikia saika kijua kuna venye anaweza ingia Kayole na Dina apate jeshi kumpatia support. So for me I think it's progress. Secondly, challenges ni mob na challenge ni utasikia mtu akisema huyu ajui bei ya diaper, so kwani tunaenda kulead kwa Pumwani unajua, ama mtu aseme huyu hata hana bwana. So you see such conversations that come up because people are also very belittling the way they look at things. If we were to go also that way, tutasema hao wote wana mabibi na mabwana na watoto na wametumes, see then we are the option. You get? So it's very simplified conversations that zinakuwa amplified and then zinakafani. For example, mtu atasema wewe umekuwa kwa NGO, so ni pesa NGO ndio inakuleta kwa siasa. But I want also to say it's not bad to do good and be heading somewhere. Kama umekuwa ukido good and then inakuletea kura na uendelee na kudo good, what wrong is it, you know? Also for me I think is also how we push the narrative. Because when you fear, when they give you a face and then una fear, then they beat you down at what you're good at. You're good at community service. Then if that's what's going to lead you to lead the people and do service, what is community service? What is country service? See, utakuwa president basi ufanye country service. Is it not good? You see, so it's progressive. Now me, I think the challenges that I've had is one, party politics, where predominantly kuna place lazima affiliate na chama fulani. But if you do that, you get that kuna cronies and bodyguards wazee wenye wao ndio kusema kwa chama. How do we change that? Because if we look at these parties and their manifestos and what they stand for, they are good things. The only thing is that they don't practice.
Yeah. So
what are we changing also as youths? Are we even going to those parties to bring practice of reality? The same way tunasema constitution ni kali, ni poor, ni supu, but practice hakuna. So challenge ni resources, challenge ni narrative imewekwa, then also fear of political space. Vile 40 anasema that friends and families have fears because political space imekuwa tainted as mali tu, watu wanauana, watu wanalingana, watu wanatumia maguns. We are coming to sanitize the space. Next year ama next voting semester tutakuwa tunaongea vitu zingine. Wacha tukae tuchambuane. And I want to put this out clearly. It might not be the same for every mtaa. Mtaa yangu 2017 na sasa 2022 tumekuwa tukido debates for incumbent na aspirants. It's not new, so we are changing. It might not be everywhere, but we are changing. The last 2 months tumefanya 3 aspirants and incumbent debates ya MCAs. And we had mothers, we had youths wamekaa chini kutoka saa 4 mpaka saa 11 wakiongea. That is not the same for everywhere, but we are heading somewhere. So I believe we are the guys that have been given the torch to carry it on. Na vitu zitachange.
It will be easy change because one of the things that, and I keep repeating this, the uniqueness about the three of you is the fact that you're transitioning from community leadership into political leadership. Now you are crazy, for the most part, most politicians will enter into politics straight out of amesponsoriwa into nani, amesponsoriwa into nani. And so there's something I'd like us to look into. How is it that level of community leadership, how is it to collaborate with other contributing parties in the community? Tuseme kama NGO, tuseme kama maybe a certain CBO.
Intersectionality inapatikana hivi. Being a leader means you've been given a certain key to a certain space, to a certain law, just as we are sitting here. So what we are going to do is to provide, what I'm going to do is to provide a table for everyone to talk to each other first. Because also that is a gap that is even within the community. Wacha kabla tuende nje. Church leaders never sit with youths to talk. Youths never sit with policemen to talk. Policemen never sit with
border association.
You see, so it's finding and having a table that they listen to each other before even we start to say makosa yako. We have you express yourself. When you express yourself, then we understand each other. When we understand each other, then we see the gaps. Then we can fill the gaps. Because so far the partnerships and wale watu tunawaka nao ni through nani, we shughuli unapiganga ni wapi unakuwa manga. Then someone akikwambia mimi upiga mimi hapa ndo nitakushikanisha na shughuli alafu usonge mbele. So our say for me until now is that we've offered tables for people.
What is the outcome of that table meeting? Sasa watu wamekuja wamepatana. Kunafaa kwendaje, because I believe if businesses improve, maybe kama kuna hosi something like that. How is it that we come from the table to actualizing what it is we want to?
Beauty ya kuchoose a community organizer ni jua najua issues zenye ziko mtaa. Like wewe umegrow mtaa, unajua shida zenyu zote. So wewe ukiita watu kwa round table, unawaleta na issues zako. You already unajua issues. Hata zile zenye wanasema ndio tuko nazo. And then pamoja mna synergize hiyo energy. Bala kila mtu afanye shughuli yake. NGO inadu shughuli peke yake.
True.
Youth groups zinadu shughuli peke yake. Wamama wanafanya shughuli peke yao. Nyumba 10 wanafanya shughuli peke yao. But sasa ni aje tutaleta hiyo energy pamoja na easy issues to handle one by one, because there's power in unity, and then after unity kuna growth. One of the things politicians wajaweza ku maximize on is the unity, is the power that the community has. To them, ukichaguliwa unataka kuwa the savior. You're not the savior, just someone who is representing the people.
Servant leadership.
And yes, and who should actually give direction. But wataki kupeana direction. Mtu atahama and then umpige saini ya matanga, saa mtu ako hosi, you know, saa yenye mtu anaenda Rurasho, they forget that actually it's about growth ya community yote, not a few people wenye wakikuvutia.
Communication style. As youth, of course, we've not been around kuona vile politics imerun from the beginning. Na as you can see, tuna change. Kwanza hata elections za 2013 ama 2017 hawakuwa na social media coverage vile tuko. As we speak, I'm running this entire, I'm moderating this with my phone. I have everything on here.
Mwenye ukiniona hivi mini message. So
To doctor.
Appearance bado ni way of communicating, unaona? Sasa mimi najaribu communicate bado kulingana na vile na hata vile umedress, ukiangalia hivi na join from Omani hiyo. Ukiangalia vile umepiga piercing zako unaweza communicate na wewe through your piercing, through your hairstyle, unajua? So mimi na communicate through first appearance yangu, unaona? Second, through language. At least ukiangalia tunajaribu kublend mixture ya English, Swahili na Sheng, unajua? At least tunajaribu ku-reach out wase wenye tunajaribu ku-reach, unaona? Hiyo bado ni another way of communicating, unaelewa? Na pia apart from pia zile campaign method pia tumekuwa tukitumia kitambo. Si hata kuja na zile graffiti za kitambo za Ofula. Tunajaribu pia kukama up na idea mpya za kujimarket through hizo art zetu, graffiti. Hata andika ati 40 for MCA pale. Atakuja tutajaribu kuchora picha fulani hapo.
Yenye mtu akiinterpret.
Ataresonate na hiyo nini, unaona? Kama hizo ngoma atakuja na zile za Uhuru Ruto tano tena. Unajua, tutajaribu kama kuna music zile zenye zina relate na message based information. Unajua vitu kama hizo tutajaribu ku reach out kwa social media vile umesema, bado ni platform poa. Tutajaribu pia kutumia communicate na wase wetu ku Twitter pale, ukiangalia hadi ama big time squeeze, ukiangalia kwa trends wanajaribu kuhakikisha wamelipa mobilizers daily upate wakitrend, unaona? So pia tunajaribu pia to introduce space na pia zile traditional methods zenye pia wamekuwa wakitumia pia hizo tutazirusha kando pia pia tutazileta pamoja ziko part of nini yetu ya kujaribu kumake message reach out.
Ukiassess to situation vile iko, there's always a unique way you approach communicating your message.
I think what he said is very right. Kuna graffiti, kuna tournaments, kuna songs and all that. But also, mimi ile gap kubwa, I think that I am really working on is the intergenerational gaps, where inakuanga ni wazae kando, vijana kando. So vile kuna place nilienda ikakuwa tuongee kama wazee. Wewe kwanza unajua utakwenyu ni wapi, unaweza ongea kama mtu anajua mali ametoka. So for me, I'm also creatively trying to bring that intergenerational gap down by engaging wazae wa filenyewe, huyu anatuheshimu na anajua si wazee. Isikakuwe wazee, you know, because I personally need all votes. Na nikiwacha wazee kando, maybe kijana mwingine amesimama mtaa yangu, because I know mtaa yangu pia kuna viongozi wengi. Na kama kuna kijana mwingine amesimama fiti, anaweza kuwa amesimama then inakuwa tumesplit votes na wazee wameenda. So for me, it's using the creative means and also just being aware of the gaps that are there in terms of generations.